Direct and indirect speech. Direct and indirect speech means the spoken words by someone and how they can be said directly and how they can be mentioned indirectly. Let's check together some examples and try to understand the differences between them. He said, I am playing. He said that he was playing. Here we have the spoken words that were said by this person. We added them exactly as they are, and we added them between quotation marks or speech marks. But in the next example, we removed the speech marks or the quotation marks, we removed the comma, and we added that. We changed the pronoun from I to he. We changed the verb from present to past. So the example became, he said that he was playing. Let's check the next one. He said, I am painting. She said that she was painting. Same like the other example. In the first one we had the speech marks or the quotation marks, and we wrote the spoken words exactly as they are, while in the second example we removed the quotation marks, we removed the speech marks, we added that she was painting. We changed the pronoun and we changed the tense of the verb. Next, he said, I did this exercise last night. Let's check the changes. He said that he had done that exercise the previous night. The inspector said, I am glad to be with you today. The inspector said that he was glad to be with me that day. So which one is the direct and which one is the indirect? And what changes did you notice in these examples? Of course, number one, omission of commas, removing of commas, the use of that, and the change of the pronoun, and of course the change of the verb tense. A speaker's words can be reported in two ways. After watching these exercises or after watching these examples, we can recognize that the direct speech is the exact words of the speaker. We add them between speech marks or quotation marks as they are without any changes. The teacher said to Rajesh, you have a bright future. This is direct speech, exact words of the speaker. While the indirect speech, what the speaker has said without using the exact words. The teacher told Rajesh that he had a bright future. So direct, exact words of the speaker. Indirect, what the speaker has said without using the exact words. They are being reported by someone. Now let's check the changes that happen to the verb tense. If the reporting verb in the direct speech statement is in the present or future, then it remains in the same indirect speech too. No changes in the tense. Like for example, my friends say he is very handsome. Where is the reporting verb? Say. So my friends say that he is very handsome. It will stay the same. My granny will say you need to eat well. My granny will say that you need to eat well. So if the reporting verb that comes before the speech is in the present or in the future, so that means that the whole sentence, when I change it to indirect speech, will stay in the same tense. No changes will happen. But if the reporting verb is in the past, in the direct speech, then the verb within the inverted commas will undergo corresponding changes, which means when I say said instead of say, that means that the reporting verb is in the past, so what's inside the speech will be in the past too. The girl said that the flower was pretty. Said and was. Said and is became said and was. What about the present continuous becoming, it will become past continuous. The old man said the rain is falling very heavily. Again, we have the reporting verb said in the past. So the verb inside the quotation will be also in the past. The old man said that the rain was falling heavily. Here are all the changes that happen to each and every tense. Present perfect. Have will be had. Simple past, arrived, will be past perfect, had arrived. Let's check the modals. Changes into their past forms. He said she can dance will become could. He said that she could dance. So from past simple to past perfect, from present perfect to past perfect, from simple past to past perfect, as I said now, and modals can, shall, or any other model will change from the present to past to, according to the reporting verb that comes at the beginning, before the speech. Now, personal pronouns that change according to the formula. If the subject of the quoted words in the first person, then it will change according to the subject of the reported verb, which means any pronoun inside the speech will change automatically when we change from direct to indirect. He said to me, I like your coffee. So when I change it, I will say, he told me that he liked my coffee. I change it I to he. You said to me, you look happy. He said, or he told me that I looked happy. You became I. He said to me, she has already left. He told me that she had already left. Okay, why we didn't change the pronoun here? If the subject of the quoted words in the third person already, then there will be no changes. So I change them if they are in the first person or the second person, I or you. But if it's already in the third person, she or he or they, okay, it will stay the same. Subject is equal to first person. Some examples. I said I want to consult my parents. I said that I wanted to consult my parents. Why we didn't change the subject here? Because already the subject at the beginning is the same. If I said he said I wanted to consult my parents, so I would change he said that he wanted to consult his parents. But because already the subject at the beginning, okay, is the same subject inside the quotation, so no changes will happen. You said I want to consult my parents. You said that you wanted to consult your parents. She said I want to consult my parents. Here we will do the changes because we have at the beginning she and inside the quotation I. So the I will change according to the pronoun before the quotation. She said that she wanted to consult her parents. Anil said to me, your parents are waiting for you. Anil told me that my parents were waiting for me. Why we changed here the pronouns your and you? Because Anil, the subject of the sentence, is not like the one inside the quotation. Anil said to you, your parents are waiting for you. Anil told you that your parents were waiting for you. Anil said to him, your parents are waiting for you. So Anil told him that his parents were waiting for him. I said to you, he should be trusted. I told you that he should be trusted. She said she's looking for a job. She said that she was looking for a job. Now change of adverbs. This will be that, today, that day, these, those, now, then, here, there, tomorrow, the following or the next day, yesterday, the previous day or the day before, tonight, that night. Let's check some of these changes. He said, I shall discuss this matter next week. So when I change it from direct to indirect, I will say, he said that he would discuss that matter the following week. She said we shifted to this house 2 weeks ago. She said that they had shifted to that house 2 weeks before. What about the questions in the direct and indirect? In a direct yes or no question, reporting verb, change it into ask or inquire, and if or whether is used instead of that. She said, are you writing a poem? She asked me whether I was writing a poem. I said to him, do you know where she will go home? When she will go home? Here, instead of adding that, I used if or whether. I asked him if he knew when she would go home. So remember, if you have a question, we're not going to use that, we will use if or whether. In case of questions like who or how or where, some words are used to introduce the reported speech. Where do you live? She asked me. So she asked me where I lived. I don't need here to use if. He asked, how do you write poems? He asked me how I wrote poems. So if the question starts with the WH, like where or when or how, okay, we use them as they are. We do not use if. Now the imperative sentences, the advise or the order. In imperative sentences, reporting verbs is changed to ask or advise or request. The tense remains the same. The verb is put into the infinitive plus to. For example, I said, take your seat. I asked him to take his seat. So instead of using that, or if, or whether, or the WH questions, here we have an order, imperative, take your seat. So I will change it, I asked him to take his seat. I used the infinitive plus to and the infinitive, the verb is in the infinitive. He said, give me some food, please. Okay, he said, give me some food, please. He asked him to give him some food. This is how we're going to change it. Now the exclamatory sentences. If someone is exclaiming, in exclamatory sentences, the reporting verb is changed into exclaimed with joy or sorrow or anger or surprise, etc. That is used. So let's check an example. He said, how beautiful a place. How How did you know that this is an exclamatory sentence? Because of the exclamation mark. He exclaimed with joy that it was a very beautiful place. So instead of said, we removed it and we used exclaimed with joy. Exclaimed with joy. And then we added that it was a beautiful place. Let's check what you have learned from this lesson. Change the following into indirect speech. The air hostess said, the hijacker tried to frighten the passengers. Let's move step by step. Number 1. Is it a normal speech? If it's a normal speech, we will use that. So when we change it, we will say the air hostess said that. But before I move on, I have to check the verb, reporting verb. Is it in the present or in the past? Here it's said, so said is in the past. The air hostess said that the hijackers had tried to frighten the passengers. Why did I use had tried instead of tried only? Because we said tried is past simple and the past simple changes to past perfect. So it would be had tried to frighten the passengers. The second one, the captain said to his men, stand at ease. Here it seems that he's trying to give an advice or he's giving an order. So the captain said to his men to stand at ease. We will use to plus the infinitive of the verb. She said to the wizard, do you believe in ghosts? We have a question. Is it a WH question? No, it's a yes/no question. So she said to the wizard if he believed, or she asked the wizard if he believed in ghosts. The principal will say, rules have to be followed at any cost. The principal will say, so the verb here is in the future, so it will stay as it is inside the speech or inside the quotation. We will not change the verb to the past. The principal will say or will ask us to follow the rules at any costs. Okay, good job. Thank you for your interest and thank you for your understanding.